Hey guys, Ben here, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Superman Lois Season 4. We're going to be talking about Tom Cavanagh returning. What does it mean for the final season? What does it mean for the series finale? So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay, so we're doing another face cam video. Hopefully you like the format. I will be streamlining it over the next week or so, but I'm doing occasional videos like this in the meantime. So I just wanted to have a chat about Tom Cavanagh returning in Superman Lois because that was completely unexpected. And now I have some other characters I want to talk about that have been brought up to me online. People are like, okay, so if Tom Cavanagh is returning as potentially Harrison Wells or as another character, potentially even Reverse Flash, which probably won't happen, or he could play a new role in the Arrowverse, could other people return? Now I'm going to talk about the likelihood of these people returning. Got some notes on the side of my screen, and I'm going to be flashing, some characters up as we go along. Okay, so the first character is Supergirl. Now this is a no-brainer, right? Because Superman Lois was born out of Supergirl. Tyler first showed up as Superman in Supergirl, so it's a Supergirl spin-off at the end of the day. I pointed out the other day online and a lot of people were like, yeah, I completely agree, like it wouldn't be the show that it is. Tyler wouldn't be the Superman he is without the Arrowverse, because that is where he was introduced. They cast him on Supergirl. And for Bitsy, less so about Supergirl, more so about the Arrowverse as a whole, about, the crossovers. So there's definitely potential for other characters to return. And Tom obviously gets kind of like special treatment, not because I don't think they really want his character back specifically in Superman Lois or in the Arrowverse, because as we know, Superman Lois has tried to distance itself from the Arrowverse over the last couple of years. So the reason that he has been asked to return, and he has confirmed he is returning, is in fact because he is good friends with Todd Helping. Now obviously that gives him a leg up. That's the reason he is returning, because they weren't able to give him a directing role in the show, and so that's why you're seeing him return. But I think, for instance, with Supergirl, with Melissa's Supergirl, I think it would make much more sense for her to return, just because of the importance of her character to this show. Yeah, they barely referred to Supergirl because, as I said, they tried to distance themselves in the last couple of years, but she is pivotal, and this would make the most sense. But I'm gonna straight up say it right here, no, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Melissa has been busy. She hasn't been seen anywhere near Vancouver. As far as I know, she's in LA, living there, and she has been just promoting her new show, Girls on the Bus, and that's pretty much it. I don't think she found any time to go up to Vancouver and shoot anything. Again, these people could have shot in their own specific cities where they live. They don't have to go to Vancouver if it's like a green screen shoot. We know a lot of the production of Superman Lois, for instance, works in LA. So any LA based actor could potentially show up on like green screen and, show up for like a brief scene. But I'm going to say no on Supergirl. Let's talk about Powergirl. Now, Powergirl is a new character. They haven't been seen in the Arrowverse before, so that would be something brand new. So it's not a returning character, this is a potential character who could show up. Powergirl is a big character in the comics, and they are an alternate version of Supergirl. We've been speculating for a while, could another version of Supergirl show up that isn't Melissa, played by a different actress? I think that is possible, probably if they had another season. I'm going to say unlikely, just because we've got a limited amount of episodes this season, and this is the final season. So I don't think the importance is up there. Like, this is not an important character to Superman Lois's final season, and that's because they got to focus on what they've got, and yeah, that's the most important thing. So let's talk about a returning character in the form of, in fact, Lucy Lane. So I was just thinking in my head, General Lane and Lois, what's her name? Lucy Lane. Anyway, so yeah, Lucy, could she return? She obviously was in the series earlier in the other seasons, and she was in that big storyline. And there was that controversy because she also was on Supergirl and it was the same actress, but basically they revamped her and they ignored what happened on Supergirl. So that pretty much was like the nail in the coffin, especially after what happened back in season 2. And so yeah, could she show up as like a callback to Supergirl, but also a callback to Superman Lois's past seasons? Probably not really likely. I haven't heard anything about the actor being up in Vancouver. That is a big thing. But I should mention that Tom Cavanagh, I heard nothing about him being in Vancouver, so I don't know what the situation of his role in the finale is going to be. He could have very well just shot on a green screen as well, and that's the, limit of what he's going to be in Superman Lois's final season. So you never know, but I'm going to say unlikely for her. So let's talk about the return of John Diggle. I feel like a lot of people I've seen online have been saying John Diggle would actually be a better cameo than a Tom Cavanagh character, whether it's Harrison Wells, Reverse Flash, or any other characters. And that's because John Diggle has been a big part of the show in the past. We most recently saw him. He's the most recent Arrowverse character. Now, that version wasn't the Arrow version that we saw right after in the Flash's last couple of episodes. So, that was two separate versions. There was the Superman Lois John Diggle, there was a Flash Arrowverse John Diggle. And so, yeah, it would make a lot of sense. I'm kind of surprised they didn't get David Ramsey back to at least direct an episode this season. I wonder why. I guess they just had maybe scheduling conflicts, or they wanted other directors in, but he was like a pretty big director in Superman Lois's past seasons, and that's why they basically used him being around as a reason to bring him into the show. Now, at first, he was kind of that figure that was the representative of the Arrowverse back in season 1, but since then, obviously we only saw him a couple of times after in season 2, where they just confirmed, yeah, we're not part of Earth Prime, but that's where we got this other John Diggle. Nothing too much in terms of him recently is what I'm trying to get at. And so I guess they just didn't feel the importance of bringing him back, but I understand why fans want him back, and I would love to see John Diggle return in the Arrowverse and in Superman Lois, and I think it would have been great if he directed an episode. And so I think him and Tom Cavanagh, they definitely have the biggest link to the show in terms of working on the show, because they both directed multiple episodes, so it would make sense. Now, could someone like Stephen Amell as Arrow return? Is that a possibility? I'm going to say probably not, just because he is even more detached. He is not linked at all to Superman Lois. We've never seen him on Superman Lois because Crisis came before Superman Lois began. And so with that in mind, I'm going to say very, very, very unlikely. And I think the last time you will see him as Green Arrow was in the Flash episode back in season 9, in the final season of the Flash, and that was his exit from the Arrowverse. Now let's talk about the Flash himself. Let's talk about Grant Gustin. Could Grant Gustin show up as the Flash? Yeah, it would be great. And I'm a huge Grant fan, I'm a huge Flash fan, love Barry, but with all the questions recently, I've noticed no one has been asking Grant, are you going to show up in Superman Lois season 4? I don't believe I recall any questions like that. It's all been, will you return as the Flash if you get a good project? And Grant has said openly, yeah, I would love to return at some point, and there are no doors that are shut right now. So I think it's really peculiar that no one has really asked him to come. And I'm talking about the press here, like no one's gone to him and been like, will you show up in Superman Lois's final season since it's the final Arrowverse show? Well, I think not, because his show, his season 9 was kind of like the end of the Arrowverse. We all kind of accepted that, and so maybe that is a reason why there is no big pressure on him to return, and no pressure on Todd Helbing to try and bring him back, despite Todd Helbing's link to Grant and Todd's link to The Flash, because he showrun The Flash for a couple of seasons. So Grant is just really busy, doing performances every day, and doing them twice a day, 4 or 5 times a week. So yeah, he's just really busy. So I'm going to say no for Grant, very unlikely. And now let's talk a bit about General Lane. Now, this isn't a major return. We know he's going to be in 2 episodes this season, but I think the thing to talk about here is he going to die? I've speculated about this before. This definitely is going to be a big moment if it happens. We know there is a funeral scene this season, and as far as I know, he is the only main cast member to not be in that series finale. Now, what does that mean to you? Let me know in the comments down below, but I'm pretty sure that means he's probably going to be dead, guys. And I hate to say that because I do like his rendition of this character, and I think it would be a huge shame, but I guess it would be good for the stakes of what's going on with Lois this season, as you know, Lex tries to get at her, and one of the best ways to get at Lois would be to kill her dad, kind of like when Zoom in The Flash season 2 killed Barry's dad, and that was like a huge shocking moment. So yeah, I guess that is going to be probably the last thing I want to talk about here, because you know, we've talked about Supergirl, we've talked about John Diggle, we've talked about Arrow, we talked about The Flash, we talked about General Lane, Lucy Lane, Powergirl, like all of those characters. Could any of them show up? Is General Lane dead? Are we going to get a final Arrowverse crossover that is not just Tom Cavanagh? And I'm not here to say that is a bad thing. Like, I am over the moon that we're getting any sort of cameo from any past Arrowverse actor. Like, I am beyond excited. Like, seriously, guys, I'm like super excited, and I'm very happy that we're getting anything. But I guess that just sparked a question in my mind. Could we get more? Are we, you know, reserving our expectations? Because for a while I was like, nah, we're not going to get Supergirl, we're not going to get John Diggle, we're not going to get anyone else, probably no new heroes. Because there's not enough room in this final season with it just being 10 episodes and them really cutting back on costs. So yeah, I guess it's kind of like re-sparked that kind of desire to even think and theorize a little bit more about this final season. So let me know, who do you think could show up in the final season of Superman Lois, considering it is the end of the Arrowverse and we have Tom Cavanagh showing up as a version of himself. I don't know what version it is, but I'm going to presume it's a version of Harrison Wells and not a new character, and most definitely not Reverse Flash. But yeah, let's talk about just one final thing. There is definitely going to be new villains in the season. There's going to be some new villains of the week, but I don't think we're going to get any like big villain. Like, I think that's pretty much it for villains. It's going to be Lex Luthor versus Superman, and that is it. We're going to get some villains of the week, some villains who are going to be helping Lex, kind of small time villains that aren't going to be a big deal. So what do you guys think about all of this? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you like this type of video with the face cam, if it's more engaging than just me talking on the microphone, please be sure to let me know down in the comments below if it works. And we've got a big announcement to come in the next couple of days in terms of rebranding the channel. I've teased that on live streams that we do every Thursday at 10 PM UK time, which is about 5 PM Eastern Standard Time in America. So that's on the East Coast. But yeah, that big video is coming very soon because we're going to make some changes on the channel. But don't worry, Superman Lois content is going nowhere. So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment, and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Also, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.